Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wild Moments powered by Explore.org. We are very excited to be with you this week. It is me, Trishala, and this time we are joined by none other than Devon Trull.
Thanks so much, Trish. It's so nice to be here and be joining you guys on the show this afternoon. It's always nice seeing your face, and I'm looking forward to what we've got in store in the next 30 minutes.
Yes, and I was just thinking the 30 minutes goes by so quickly sometimes, and we've got some really cool clips that deserve a lot of attention. So I hope I managed to squeeze in everything I want to say. But I guess you guys know I never do. I always end up with more than I think I do. I have to say. It's live and interactive, everybody. So send through your questions and your comments. You know how much we love to hear from you. But to start us off, I'm gonna let Dev tell you where he is, because he's got a great view.
Yeah, so you'll see behind me another mobile setup. It seems whenever I join you, I'm on the road, and if we around just very quickly, there's a view of a big mountain in the distance. I don't know if you can all see that, and I'm actually coming to you the central Cederberg.
That is so exciting. I am coming to you from my home, but I've added this lovely plant to fill up the shot so it looks a little bit, fancy. I think everybody should comment on my plant because it's doing really well. Anyway, we're not here to talk about my plant, even though it is beautiful. We're here to talk about some of the great clips that we have for you, some of the highlights, and some interesting behavior and some interesting animals. So let's say hello first. We have Aussie Jan too. Hi, Aussie Jan. You say good afternoon. Daylight savings has happened. Yes, I know. My parents actually live in Australia, Jan. But the coffee survives. I have just had a coffee too. And to my dismay, I realized that I made decaf. But it's okay. And then we have Bill Grooms, who says, greetings from a chilly South Carolina. Greetings, Bill. Rolling Trouble. Hi, Rolling Trouble. Thank you so much for joining us. You say hi from Washington. Dear NC says, good morning from Seattle. Just made it with a coffee in hand. All you people with your coffee and me with my decaf. You're looking forward to the show. I'm so glad. And then we've got Amy Zilka, who says, so very beautiful. I hope you're talking about my lovely plant here. It really appreciates your input there. And then Gert NL says, hi, Trishala and Devon from the Netherlands. You're full of expectation, are you? Well, I hope that we can deliver. And then we've got Sarah, who says, hi, Trishala and Devon from Kazakhstan. Thank you for joining us again, Sarah. We love having you on board. Carol Parker, good morning from Ohio. Good morning or good afternoon from Devon on this side. Becky WV, hi, Becky. Hello from a chilly West Virginia. And Belinda DeSinger. Oh, hi, Trishala and Devon. See, I could have done with the coffee, rattling all those off. Anyway. Let's jump straight into our first very interesting clip, one of my favorite animals, and that is a pair of hyenas having it off. Some interesting behavior going on here. So this is actually in Crocodile. So you can already see that one hyena has its tail up, the other one has it between its legs. I think we'll actually just watch through the clip and then we'll talk about the behavior afterwards with a rewatch. I love a good whoop. So I don't know if you heard right at the end there was a response, but we can't hear Devin, unfortunately. I wonder if you guys can, but I can't hear Dev. Look at his confused face. Negative. Still can't hear you. It's okay, Dev. You're just going to have to you're gonna just have to listen to me the whole time, and we'll judge what you're saying by your expressions. Oh, there we go.
Perfect. Am I back? Am I in the mix?
You're back.
I thought
You're
you
back.
were just ignoring me.
I would.
So
No.
beautiful when you get into the bush though, and you hear that sound at night. It just like really brings you into the moment, and to get to see that hyena calling and the way that it dips its head, so cool, so cool.
And I'm so glad that you mentioned the dip of the head, because when we talk, or when we usually talk about whooping or we see whooping, the whole sound is so big. It takes up so much space that you forget that the movement that they do with it. And the dipping of the head, and it comes up and it almost follows the sound, and I love that. Love it so much. But
Very
what
very
I really
cool.
wanted, yeah, what I really wanted to talk about in that clip was some of the behaviors that were going on. So, if we can run through it again, and I just want to talk you through what I'm seeing in terms of their behavior. Because at the beginning, you can see that the dominant hyena is this one that we're looking at now. It sees another hyena approaching, and the other hyena is younger and smaller. And as soon as it's close enough, its tail goes up. There we go. And the hyena that's approaching, tail is down, it's grimacing. It's almost trying to protect its bottom.
Dropping down so
So
low there and trying to almost make
yeah,
itself look smaller, it would seem.
that's an excellent point. Yeah. Now I can tell it's younger. It looks like it's a sub-adult. It's still a little bit fluffy, and its spots are closer together. So as they grow, their spots spread out and they can get a little bit more dull. So now this one starts whooping.
You can really see that whole like diaphragm.
Yeah. And now the tail is flat again. Now listen right at the end here. There was a very faint response that
I
came
heard
from
it.
another hyena. Yeah. Just so hyenas, I love them. You can talk about them for days because they have such complex vocalizations, postures, hierarchy. So what we could have been witnessing there was a change in the hierarchy, or perhaps somebody is dominant now, wasn't dominant before, but that's all speculation. It could just be two, I was about to say people, two hyenas that have already established their rank and one is lower than the other. But very cool behavior nonetheless.
Very, very cool, and so
And
cool to see the size. Sorry, Trish, the size difference, and then I mean, size is really everything in these contexts. And the larger
exactly.
hyena completely dominating, and how the body posture sort of reflects that. Much bigger, much more confident, and then the submissive one coming in, and then very quickly moving off as well.
And I
So
love the
cool
point
to
that you
get the
made
insights.
about how the submissive hyena I mean, we know that they go low, the back legs collapse, the tail tucks under. But you made a great point of how it's almost trying to make itself invisible, like collapse in on itself.
And just slink by.
Yeah, exactly. All right, before we move on to the next clip, let's get another couple hellos out of the way. We have Bob from Kalamazoo says, a good day from a chilly Michigan. Hi, Bob. Always lovely to have you on board. Weedy in Washington. Good day to everyone from Washington. Trishala and Devin, nice to see you. Trishala, I hope you didn't get upset with the news of Kira on Tuesday. I did. So, for those of you who don't know, Kira is a hyena cub that I was very, very familiar with, and she died with it. It was a combination of circumstances, but hyena role. I did see quite a disturbing clip of, and it's how you actually have quite a lot of difference between animals as a personality. At certain times, reasons is not as uh, was. Have you lost me? Am I still here? Am I here? Can you hear me?
We can hear you. You are breaking up a little bit my side, though. I don't know if that's just me or you.
Okay. As long as you can still hear me, and obviously face will get stuck in the most most wonderful position. No, mic on.
Hear you now. You're kind of sounding pretty good, pretty normal again.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's sounding great.
Thank you for the update on here. Thank you. And we've got hello from California, that's February. Mike, hello and good morning from North Carolina.
Woohoo.
Um, then we've got Stas who says, hello, everyone, all missed on wild, especially the penguins.
Trish, you coming and going a little bit for me. I'm not sure how
I
you.
go away again.
A little bit. Just a little. And now you're back.
Okay. And now I'm back. Okay, well then let's move on to the next clip and hopefully I'll be able to figure out what's going on here. Very interesting one
Good plan.
with some of my favorite animals, the crocodile.
Wow. So, so cool. I love the way their eyes sort of stand out as well under the infrared light. So, so epic to see. Interesting to watch just at this initial point here. Watch how the smaller crocodile in front just blows its belly up, trying to make itself look a little bit larger. And then those eyes that I was mentioning now, just so bright. Even the reflection in the water is so, so bright.
This resting of the head on the tail is something that they will do quite a lot. Well, not only on the tail, males will try and like nuzzle the female in an attempt to woo her, but it's not always well received.
Like in this case.
Exactly.
And it turns into a full-on chase.
Oh wow, look at that.
Really, really, really cool. I mean, you can also really see how strong and powerful those tails are as they're flicking from left to right. And then
And
that
off she
smaller
goes.
female up the bank. Sufficiently
Crocodile.
disturbed.
Certainly. I mean, the face on the male looks like this strange, terrible smile, but of course it's not controlling it. And I'm sorry to tears. Now I'm back. What I was about to mention was that crocodile mating is such an interesting thing. I mean, it's like, oh, it's two reptiles, they're going to mate, they're just going to put their cloacas together. But actually, the male, there's quite an elaborate dance that happens, and the male splashes around, he creates bubbles, he even creates infrasonic sound waves in the water that the female will pick up on. And that whole dance can last, several hours before they actually mate for a couple of seconds. And this guy looks like he rushed it. That's just my opinion.
Just moved in too quickly. It's so funny for me how reptiles, and I know you mentioned this already, but like everything that they do can just take so much longer. The process of doing things takes a little while longer. And then, yeah, like you said, maybe just moving in a little bit too quickly, or maybe that female wasn't that keen. We saw as soon as he approached her and started putting his head on her tail, she blew her belly up to make it a lot bigger. Maybe she was trying to sort of say, "Listen, I'm quite big. I'm not interested." At the end of that clip with her scurrying off her way up the bank, that was no mistaking the answer there. Trish, have you ever seen something like that?
A couple. Oh, Amber.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, Deb.
I was just going to ask whether or not you had ever seen something like that unfold in front of your eyes, because you're such a cool experience to get to witness stuff like that. And with these night cameras, so cool, such an epic insight. I was going to comment and say that it's
seen it.
something that I've never seen before, and so cool that we're getting these insights, or that we have these cameras so these insights can come through.
Exactly, it's one of the ultimate benefits of having cameras, especially ones that we can film at night when constantly filming. We can pick up all of these wonderful things, and then we can have shows like this and explore these clips that we wouldn't ordinarily be able to see if we were out and about. Let me get through a couple more hellos and all of this, and we'll move on to our next two clips. We have Amber Co says, Trishala, your plant is lovely. Oh, why, thank you. I promise I was not biased when I picked this comment. Karen and Braylon Riley says hi from Mississippi. We've got Mary in Buffalo, New York that says hi, Trish and Devin. Mary Momo says, oh, does your fancy plant have a name or do we just call it plant? Do you have a name? No, it doesn't have a name, but I talk to it often. But he doesn't have a name. But he is, I think he's just baby. That's like,
Talking to plants is definitely how to get them to grow it well. It's the secret.
yes, well, you know, there is a scientific explanation for that, or a possible explanation, and because plants are using carbon dioxide to photosynthesize, when you're speaking, you're breathing out, and it's like, you know, a boost of CO2.
You started
Makes
that
sense.
sentence, and I was like,
I don't know how much
you guys, I follow you.
Zygote says hi, Trishala and Devin. Tammy says good morning, Trishala and Devin. And then Kathy Barton says, oh, you wish you could hear the African sounds. You're hearing frogs, birds, distant traffic, and a very noisy peacock. Well, I guess that's. You can always jump onto the cams and you can have your full of frogs, cicadas, and whatever else will come out at night at this point. So jump to cams. And then Mary Mo says, about to fall out of my chair, the croc chase. You didn't see that coming. Zygote, you say perhaps it was a territorial dispute. I think move out of my way kind. So when crocs are going to mate, the males obviously become a lot more territorial. But there's movement on both sides. The it felt like was approaching, and the other crocodile was a female, or if it was a territorial battle with male. The other croc wasn't really paying attention. There was contact. So I would say more likely a mating attempt than a territorial interaction. And I just thought, and then I was about to go into the next clip. Always a rough time with the crocs mate. It is always a rough time. So become anyway. Let's move on to the clip and of another very very interesting animal that I haven't met myself. Polecat. Oh, it's so cute.
So fluffy.
It is really fluffy. I've seen one before, Dev. Have you seen one?
I haven't. Actually, I was just thinking to myself now, did I see one of these in Namibia? But I'm pretty sure that's not what I saw. So busy though, snuffling around in the grass looking for little treats, I would think, Trish.
I would definitely think so. You know, nose to the ground. That's the only thing that it could be doing. And they're so light on their feet. You know, they're just puttering, kind of hopping a little bit. It's so cute. But I would never, ever cuddle one. Never touch one.
Very light on their feet, and I love.
And Dev will tell you why.
Animals when they've got a sharp end. Moving through bushes and looking between those like little bits of grass and blades, and you can imagine the grass down on the floor having lots of sort of holes and insects and things living down in there. So amongst the roots.
Yeah, and I mean at this time of the year, things are starting to emerge to become to be ready for summer. So there's a lot of food around. The time of abundance is almost on us. So we have now. Oh, Weedy in Washington, you say you have watched them on Tao mating not long ago. I hope. Sorry, there's just a very noisy truck just came past. Are you talking about the striped polecat or the crocs? I think you might be talking about the crocs, because if you've seen striped polecats mating, that is a golden sighting, I would say. Absolutely golden. And then Zygote, you say thanks, Trishala. Ah, for the territorial dispute. Ah, okay. And then Michael S., I think this is to do with the crocodiles. You would like to know, how do we tell the difference between a male and a female? It's very, very, very difficult. The only difference is the size, really. I mean, whenever I'm guiding, I'm making assumptions, and I try not to say who's male and female because I honestly don't know. Dev, what's your trick to tell?
Yeah, definitely size. I mean, those male crocs can get really, really large, but also because of age and sort of continuing growing, impossible to say
Yeah.
for sure, to say with any certainty anyway. But in situations where there's a much larger one and a much smaller one, that size is distinctly different. It's sort of, I don't know, a safe assumption to say.
I think that, as well as their behavior, is probably your best indication. Males are going to be territorial. They're going to be chasing other males around, and a little bit more proactive. And the females are not going to be as territorial. And then obviously at this time of the year, if you're seeing a croc dig into the side banks of dams and rivers, then you can make an assumption that these are females that are getting ready to lay their eggs. And then you note some special feature, and then you remember for next time that that one was a female. That's your best bet. Okay. And then we have Cindy Drake. What kind of mongoose is that, Cindy? That was a striped polecat. Although I can see how you might think it was a mongoose. It kind of has a similar body shape to a white-tailed mongoose, but it is in fact a striped polecat, and they are not related. So striped polecats are mastelids, so they're related to honey badgers, and mongoose are in the family Herpestidae, so they're related to meerkats. But I can see. Cindy says, "Oh, striped polecat, my first. I'm glad that we could show you your first striped polecat. All right, let us. Ooh, we have two more clips. Let's get through them quickly because I like them both. One of my favorite little animals, hard to spot in the bush. It's a bush baby. You can barely see it. All you can see is these massive eyes.
I was just about, wow, look at that. Those huge eyes definitely giving it away.
I mean, the eye shine is so bright that it looks like one giant eye.
And that's such big jumps as well. I mean, if you relate those eyes though to if you've ever seen a bush baby before, and in comparison to the body, how big the eyes are, it makes sense that they are so reflective.
Oh, that's amazing. So this is a lesser bush baby, and even from just watching the clip, I can tell it's a lesser bush baby, and that's because lesser bush babies leap and bound like this, while greater bush babies don't do that. They prefer to walk, but they will make small jumps to trees, but they would prefer to walk in general. This one was just kind of bouncing all over the place. So I read something very cool recently about this robot. There's I have my fingers in all kinds of areas, and I've been reading about robots. So there's this robot called Celto, and Celto is built to be able to detect, people that are under rubble or whatever, that are in some disaster sites. But they needed to build a robot that was able to jump quickly, effectively, and from a standing still position. So they modeled this robot Celto on a bush baby, on a lesser bush baby. And then so what the bush baby does in order to create those leaps is that as it crouches, it stores its energy, not in its muscles, but in its tendons. And that's what allows it to jump from standing still. And so Salto does the same thing. As it crouches, it stores its energy in these little springs and it can bounce off things. It's a very cool little robot. You need to go check it out.
I hadn't heard about that, but I'm so keen. I'm definitely going to go have a look at that later.
Cutest little robot ever. Okay, our last cute clip to finish us off. We're already over time, so let's go on. It's a little hippo that thinks that nobody's watching. The things we do when we think no one's watching. Oh.
Best time. So much fun.
I love when we see animals doing things that are seemingly useless to their survival, because I feel like that's life, that's fun, you know? Just being
100%,
themselves.
definitely having a good time. Blowing bubbles, rolling around in the mud.
And you so rarely get to see a hippo's belly, so it's so adorable. And off it goes, off into the night to graze a little bit. So
carry on feeding for the evening. I was about to say, cool to see a hippo in the water at night as well. So used to getting these epic hippo sightings out the water at night, because obviously the day in the water, evening coming out to graze, and they're just in the water in the evening having a play as well. Too cool.
Amazing. Okay, guys, it's that time. I'm going to end off with a lovely comment from Weedy in Washington. Weedy says, I love Africam. So many more animals to see than watching just one. Hoping to see something. I didn't read the whole comment, but I hope that means that you'll be watching the cams and you'll be maybe marking the next great clip that we will have on Wild Moments next week. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Dev, in your little mobile setup. And thank you all for your questions and comments. We'll see you again soon. Bye for now.
Cheers, guys.